Professor fired over teaching of racial justice. Fired over that. Former Palm Beach Atlanta University professor Samuel Joeckel was fired after a parent complained in February he was indoctrinating students with lessons about racial justice. He has now filed a federal complaint with the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, arguing his termination was racially motivated. Joeckel, who is white, has not argued he was fired because of his race. His attorney, Gabe Roberts, said his complaint relies on a legal concept called associational discrimination, where someone believes they were wrongfully discriminated against for their association with members of a protected class. Interesting. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission has authority to investigate, prosecute discrimination complaints against employers. Filing a complaint with the agency is also a precursor to filing a federal employment discrimination lawsuit. Federal law prohibits employers from discriminating against workers based on their race, gender, or certain other protected characteristics. If an employment decision is motivated by protected characteristics such as race, that is an unlawful employment practice in this country, Roberts said in a statement. We are looking forward to working with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission on its investigation. Now, the English professor has taught at the 3,700 student Christian school for the last 2 decades. He says he's long used teachings of racial justice to illustrate his writing lessons. He did not express his personal opinions and did not require the students to either. Students in Joeckel's class read and analyzed passages about the topic, discussed them, wrote short essays of their own. Administrators had never expressed concerns about his lessons before. He attributed the school's new concern about his lessons to an anti-woke crusade from Governor Santos and other far-right politicians and activists. So, whatever DeSantis wants, Ben, apparently other people prefer not to stand up to this governor. They prefer to just go along to get along. What's next? Are the kids going to be forced to eat pudding with their fingers at school too? Or will someone have a mind of their own?
No, I don't think mind of our own is on the table in Florida anymore. I think it's become a collective mush of bath salt infused dinosaur in the lake alligator having election stealing misanthropes that don't understand how society should function or can in any sort of fluid way. I'm starting to be of the opinion that people that live in these backward states that continue to elect backwards leaders deserve backwards policies. I'm tired of having to talk about and defend people who keep not realizing the people that they put in power are to their own detriment. And of course, that's an exaggeration that I'm bitterly saying. There's plenty of good people that are stuck in a place that they wish they weren't, and they wish their leaders were different. But it's ridiculous to say that someone is indoctrinating somebody because the topic of an essay is racial justice, literally the justice, the equality, the fairness for all races. And this is controversial in America in 2023 is so egregiously stupid and backwards. There is no way to even make sense of it. As was said, the teacher was not even sharing his own opinions on it. Wasn't making the students take a stance on it. It was just the topic of the writing exercise. This is a problem. How fragile are your children? How fragile are the brains of these idiots that they hear the phrase racial justice, they read a few paragraphs about people being treated equally, and oh my God, this might crush the hatred we've tried to instill in our kids for 18 years. If you're strong parents at all, you've instilled your hatred strong enough, it'll survive hearing a few essays about how maybe there's another way to live.
They don't want to test it?
Yeah, exactly. Battle test it.
Wow. It is stunning to me that there's not more people. And you're right. There's people who this is their community. This is all they know. They don't have the luxury of going elsewhere. But others, it sounds like what you're saying is you have to stand up and fight. Sometimes you have to stand up and say, no, we're not going to put up with this. Not just one teacher who is, out of a job and saying, yeah, I'm going to sue. But where's the rest of the community? The parents, everybody else who can join this effort and say, or what? Or what? Well, if they don't stop this soon, it's like a rash. It just spreads and spreads and spreads. And we're seeing that in other places. And we're seeing that from other leaders who are saying, you know what? I can do one better.